Kreuzkampf, and yeah, you've been introducing it there. Those are not necessarily the decks we expected for the playoff, right?
However, since it's a very unique event, I think that you should adapt your deck of choice and play the exact deck that you believe that is going to go well in this high competitive scene.
And honestly, we've already had a little bit of a glimpse on all the deck lists, and these people, they really built a deck for the playoff, and Ben is no stranger to the Memento strategy. He has been playing the deck himself throughout countless of those tournaments. Actually, earned some of those points that he's here for the points playoff this weekend with the Memento deck, but now he's facing it here in round one. And on the other hand, we have Danilo, who has been super known to actually be playing Malice non-stop. He made top 8 at the YCS with Malice, but now the Malice times are over, and he is on the Memento deck himself. And even though the Ash Blossom came down on the Dark Blade, he has found a very, very nice way here to extend, and you can tell by the face from Ben, I don't think he's very happy with how this develops.
If you're using a hand trap early on the Dark Blade, you don't want it to be Ash, because there's, of course, cards that you want to stop, like the Bone Party, which is the worst nightmare. You hand trap something and then they go Bone Party, and everything is just bad from that
point
on.
To explain a little bit, Dark Blade activate effect to special summon from the deck, it got that, and then Bone Party activated to destroy Sleepy from hand, to special summon Gatic in order to take back Sleep on the hand, and Sleepy now can be special summoned through hand and fusion summon on when it gets special summon.
Yeah, and Danilo right now considering what kind of fusion summoning we're even going to resolve, because there is one Memento fusion that is a 2-material monster, but we are going for the big boy. We're going for the 3-material fusion, and that is actually an interesting decision, because very often you see the combo lines going through the Mementotlan Twin Dragon first, but no, this is the Creation King instead.
Let me answer that, because I think that if you are playing the Twin Dragon now, you're heavily playing into Droll and Lockbird, because we have used the Bone Party to add Tatsuno Shigo to hand. And I think we were still in the chain resolving all of this. Actually, I think the Droll and Lockbird could have already been activated.
Yes.
So I think that maybe Twin Dragon would have also been a decent answer. Also, we have the Mementotlan Fusion in hand already. So this one gets, I think, slightly less effective if you only use it on the Twin Dragon.
All right, and we do see Danilo now using the other Creation King that we sent off of the first, alongside the Akihiron and the Tatsuno Chichoku, to search out the field spell. Me, myself, I'm a big fan of the Memento deck, so I'm very, very happy that we have it here in the playoff as well. Wasn't necessarily expecting it, but certainly very happy about, ooh, and this is very cool now, because now we did actually destroy a very high-level monster throughout the effect of the Tatsuno Chichoku. So we can send so many monsters here, because we can send up to the level that we destroyed. So usually you're destroying itself, sending up to level 5, but we did destroy the Creation King here with Tatsuno Chichoku, so we have countless options here to send, basically, from the deck.
Yep, that's gonna be a big one. Just not the Tekutlika combined creation. That one is still too high level here. We're sending an Anguish. I don't think that we're gonna stop there, to be honest.
And Danilo at the time has everything that he needs on graveyard. It's very scary when Memento has so many names.
It definitely is. And I think one thing that's standing out for me always about the Memento strategy is that it can just adjust, that it can just play a different combo line basically whenever it wants. And right off the gate here, Danilo is showing us something that's not very common, but something that I think is going to result in something that is included in his extra deck. That's 3 level 5 monsters. And I think that is going to be a smasher, and he's pairing the dice for a smash. There it is. We do go into number 67, Paradise Smasher, and Ben is taking a careful read, because Danilo, for a definite reason, has used 3 level 5 monsters, because he could have summoned this with 2 level 5 monsters, but he wants to make sure there's another material available so he can modify one of the die results into a 7. Banner's rolling.
Ben, you have to go really low now. Channel all your... Oh, this is a 2! This is insane.
So that's an 8 in total. But that's a 6 from Danilo, so it's still lower in the end. Woo!
So to explain what happened, Smash 7.
Yes,
so
that's what they
Ben,
did.
For the rest of this turn and the next one, cannot activate monster effects and also cannot attack.
That is very true, and then of just summoning it, because the Memento deck, as we saw, it can put out such a nice field. Like, if Danilo would have just continued to combo normally here, I would have been somewhat confident that there's a really, really high chance that he would have been able to win this game one. But he was like, I want to make sure I'm winning over this Smasher now. And I think the situation with resolving the Smasher now is almost locked up for him, honestly.
Danilo wants to go the funny way.
Yes.
This is a very powerful route, of course, as well. I mean, Akihiron wasn't used in the most effective way, but we can get it out back again regardless. And I think at this point, we're still doing everything perfectly for good measures here. But you could just stop now, wait for Ben to almost pass the turn, even though he is playing Vanquish Soul. So if he draws into something like a Holy Suit that lets him play on Danilo's next turn, he still has a dog in this race.
He definitely does. But one thing that everyone at home needs to realize, this tournament is incredibly high pressure. We only have 4 rounds of Swiss. And you want to make sure to at least go 3-1 in those Swiss rounds to have a chance at making top 4. So every match counts so much. It matters so incredibly hard. So you definitely don't want to start with a loss here.
It is a little more forgiving than what we saw at the NAWCQ though, because that was single elimination, so 1 loss and you are out.
No pressure.
No pressure here. You can afford 1 loss, even though if you get it in the first round, that
guaranteed anymore.
Might not be too great.
But that's the typical Memento setup that we see next to the Smasher. We have the boss monster of the main deck. Ben, is he even going to reveal what he's playing?
Oh, that looked like an end phase there from Ben. He shrugs and goes, hey, there's not really, I mean, you're not letting me play too much here, so this might be the end of his non-turn, basically. Danilo already wants to play here, destroying the combined creation for Bone Party, possibly in the end phase, summon out an Anguish, and we're very much set up here.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that Ben doesn't scoop, though. He knows that a single loss, it means a lot in this tournament, and he just wants to make sure that Danilo does everything right, because you never know what your opponent might do.
For sure. I think that's, in general, in a tournament, definitely the way to go about it. But in that kind of a field, right? You're sitting there with the other 15 best players from Europe that have performed insanely well throughout the entire season. And I think mistakes and fumbles is something we're going to see very rarely here throughout this playoff. And I think Ben knows that. Still, though, he makes Danilo execute here.
He also gets info, obviously.
Yeah.
At NAWCQ, we've also seen some moves that were not quite the perfect ones that cost players in the playoff game, because there is also huge nerfs to this. This is the top of competition, and you don't always have this pressure. If you're playing a YCS, if you're playing in the main event at Nationals, yes, there is pressure. Yes, you want to win, but this is something you've been working for all year. You have been grinding, you have been traveling, and now sometimes those nerfs can get in your ways. This determines the best duelists, basically all of the skill sets, right? Because keeping your nerves, being calm, that is also very important in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Definitely in the toolbox of being a great duelist that wants to reach the highest stages of dueling in the world, which is the World Championship. That is something you need to be very good at. It's not only about the dueling itself, but there's a whole lot of mind gaming and other stuff behind it too. And both of these players here are masters of that, of course. And now it's back to Danilo's turn, who just, in the end phase of the opponent, summoned out now the Horned Dragon from the extra... No, not the Horned Dragon, the Twin Dragon from the extra deck. They're very similar, but both of them now on the field.
Yep. And now I think we're just going to summon out our combined creation. I think, do you just go battle phase here? Because there is still a chance that your opponent starts doing something.
To be honest, the only thing that you can scare in battle phase is Bestial, so you probably go into battle phase.
I think I would have liked to maybe trigger Akihiron here, because if you trigger Akihiron, you could have just also, worst case, attacked directly with the big monsters, but no! Game
20 draws Resin is a really good start for Ben, by the way.
Yes.
But if your opponent only Molchamis you, or Draw Lockbirds you, it doesn't stop Memento from putting out a Paradise Smasher and basically taking away your ability to play the game in the next turn. So
You just said only Malcharmio?
Yeah, but if you're playing Paradise Smasher or a Protoss or something, then it's only Mulcharming
And
you.
look at this. This is, of course, the first weekend in Europe for a big event that we get to see Vanquish Soul, Holly Sue. And we also drew the other new card from Duelist Advanced with it. We have now the Holly Sue in the hand, and we're already activating Vanquish Soul start there as well. And Ben, in deck building, made a really, I'm curious about it, but a really interesting decision. He mains, of course, the one Vanquish Soul start, as you usually see, but he's also side-taking another copy of it, which is something I wasn't familiar with that is going on in the deck, but he is doing it, and he's a master of deck building, so probably has to be approved.
I assume going first, you just like more consistency.
Yeah.
Even though the card doesn't play on its own, it's still very unlikely that you have nothing else going on.
Okay, there is a classic of the Vanquish Soul strategy, the Link 1 Rock of the Vanquisher, which is now turned going into the extra monster zone there. We're revealing Dr. Madlove now with Holly Sue. Ben has such a good setup here. And the thing is, Danilo, he wasn't even aware that Ben is on Vanquish Soul, right? Because he didn't see any Vanquish Soul cards in game number 1. So he figured Ben could be on anything, really. But now he is faced with those cards, and he is really seeing the best possible start from Ben there, because it used to be like that at Vanquish Soul that it is all about Raisin. Now you have different ways to go still, because Dr. Madlove all of a sudden also is a one-card starter because you can search for field spell, but still starting with Raisin will give you the best you want, and therefore he's definitely happy with that. Now Jalong revealing a Raisin. That is an Ash Blossom that we're revealing next to it. That's very, very good indeed.
The question is, can Ben now go into his own Paradise Smasher?
Possibly.
Are we rolling the dice again? Heavy Borga is added to the hand. That is not a level 5 monster.
And the problem with that is that Memento usually play Field Breakers instead of hand traps. And if the Smashers, of course, resolve as we saw in the first game, it's probably game.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I think if there is one deck that I would want to Paradise Smasher, Memento is far up in the list.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely one that you can summon this card very, very reliably against, but Ben does not do that. I think we are heading into the end phase, setting one card, and now going back to the field spell. Vanquish Soul's start does not only start our place, but also it does in the end phase set a Vanquish Soul trap card from the deck, and that is one of the most powerful interruptions in the format right now, the Snow Devil, which has 3 different effects, and one of them includes to just destroy all of the monsters on the opponent's side of the field.
Actually, it destroys all the monsters on the field, but it protects your Vanquish Soul monsters.
Yep, it does. That's one of the other 2 effects.
Which means that your Rock of the Vanquisher still gets destroyed. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. But you can chain to it and just bring out another Vanquish Soul monster with it. I think that's fine. But Danilo starts off normal, summoning the Anguish now.
Solid start. I mean, we know there is Ash Blossom in the hand of Ben Kreuzkamp, but do you want to use this here already? This is something very interesting about the Vanquish Soul deck, even though there are very powerful cards that have been added to the strategy. It does not look that impressive on the field.
It resolves, okay.
And Danilo
gets the search.
already shows off some proficiency in this matchup because he normal summons the Anguish in the zone of Holly Sue, so that Ben can't use the effect to special summon out a Resin from deck or the Rock of the Vanquisher effect to special summon it in the column of the Anguish to pop it.
Very, very good. I think that is a good column to use. Also, as a general advice, I think summoning your monsters to the zone of Rock also is usually quite good, because when they then get Raisin into the zone that Rock is in as well, then they would have to destroy their own Rock too. But now, where is that Tatsunu Chichogo going? Is it? Oh, it's going into the zone of Borger. Okay, another monster that's already on the field, so definitely recognizing the fact that there is a Raisin coming eventually. But now Borger revealing a Dark. Let's get a draw going here.
So as a general advice, some of the monsters on the opposite side of the field that Vanquish monsters are already on the field, so you can dodge cards like Raisin.
Yep.
There's
and of
Jalong
course,
now.
what you said about the Rock, that if it's going to be destroyed, at least you can destroy the Rock as well.
Totally.
I think now we're setting up for the next interruption here. Jalong is going to search for another Vanquish Soul card, and there we have also, of course, the big boss monster of the deck, Caesar Valius, which nowadays doesn't really feel like the big boss monster. It's rather Holly Sue that is the dominant force of the deck, but Caesar Valius is very hard to out. It provides an interruption on the opposing turn. What more do you want, huh?
It definitely is very, very good. And Danilo is thinking whether he needs to respond here right now. And I think he made the decision that he does want to respond. And there is a Forbidden Droplet coming in now.
As we said before, Memento is really known for playing more field breakers and not so many hand traps.
Sending the Witch, sending another Dark Blade from the hand. So I'm pretty sure we're trying to negate the Jiaolong and also the Holy Sudan. But on the other hand, they have Raisin. Yep, we do indeed negate exactly those two cards, but the Rock is still live, and the Rock can summon from the hand. Therefore, the Raisin could still be coming down eventually.
But now you've cleared your most left main monster zone again, so you can summon something in there as well to protect from the Raisin effect. Also, I think I've spotted a card in the hand of Danilo, which is called by the Grave to answer the Ash Blossom that we already know of. But I find the plays of Ben interesting. He has been keeping the Ash Blossom so far. And I think that's also partly because he needs the Fire attribute in hand.
Yeah, you're right. That is something you definitely have to...
Nice call.
Yeah, it's an... card economy in this Vanquish Soul deck is so important. Ooh, Raisin now into a zone where no other monster currently is in. So that is sorta preemptive here from Ben, but this card, of course, still gives us the chance to get to Caesar Valius eventually if we want to.
Is it really preemptive? Because at this point, it just feels like Danilo is just not going to summon anything in an empty zone because you have occupied so many zones already. Nice QCR, Caesar Valius.
It's like respecting your opponent, right?
Indeed.
Also, you want to set up your values probably so that you have the pop on the field already when something activates that you want to get rid of.
That you don't expect that Danilo will play into Raisin and summon something under the extra monster zones.
Ooh, Ash Blossom on the Tatsunoko Shogun. No time wasted. Called by the Grave, countering the Ash Blossom. Any response from Ben, or is this Tatsu really going to bring cards into the graveyard? Oh.
That's interesting.
Oh. Ooh, we're chaining the trap card we talked about earlier. The Snow Devil, revealing all three attributes, so the Ash Blossom may not resolve, but now the Tatsuno Chichogo is going to be destroyed in a different way now.
And in order for Tatsuno Chichogo to resolve, it needs to destroy a Memento monster, and it needs to have a high level in order to send the proper materials to the graveyard.
Absolutely. And I mean, Danilo, after resolving the Forbidden Droplet, there's just not that many cards left in his hand, right?
By the way, have we activated the taking effect of Holy Sue already?
It has been negated through Droplet.
But because you can bounce it back with Caesar Valius and then summon it out again. And then your field is full, so you can't even steal.
Ooh, Mementotlan Fusion, though! Yeah. Danilo has gotten a lot of monsters into the graveyard, but have we even... Did we destroy any monsters in our field?
Yes.
Okay, our opponent did it for us. Yeah, true. Our opponent helped us out here. Ben did the destroying part that Memento likes so much, and now Ben is forced to chain the Caesar Valius to the activation of the fusion.
Also, even if we could still get the Holy Sue on the field, your main monster zone is full. You can't take a monster from your opponent's side of the field. It just does not work anymore. Caesar Valius being summoned now may be the last interruption that Ben Kreuzkamp has here. And we all know what Memento does best. It's just dealing 8,000 damage through a full field. So having good resources set up for your next turn, that is not something that is rather terrifying to a Memento player, because they just want to go Archiheron effect, summon Combined Creation King, summon Combined Creation, let's go.
Indeed. Just attacking directly, or sometimes using your boss monster even to do piercing damage. I mean, there's a lot of monsters, and when we get to the point where actually the Creation King can just attack all the different monsters on the opponent's side, or the Combined Creation rather, just combine the Combined Creation with the Graveyard effect of Mementotlan Bone Party, and all of a sudden all of those monsters may look cool, but they may also just get all attacked over, and that's a lot of damage in total when a 5,000 attack point monster is attacking actually. So there is a couple of cheeky ways for this Memento deck to even win through a big field. And we will see whether that's the case here.
We haven't even used Gatic yet. Right now doesn't really look like we're going to see an empty field. However, there's something that I find interesting, that you can use the SP Little Knight effect to banish something on your turn and still OTK with the Bone Party and the Combined Creation. Just because you talked about the piercing damage, and SP Little Knight doesn't say that your opponent doesn't take any damage anymore, it just states that you can't attack directly.
Sleepy onto the field. And really, Ben had so many things planned, and still Danilo got to this point. And sometimes it really feels like when Memento does get to this point, it's really, really tough to stop it altogether, because this card alone is going to search for two different cards here.
Yep.
And Danilo still has the Memento Fusion in the graveyard.
Yes. And we now also have established that Fusion monster. The thing though is, with the Fusion monster, we probably maybe want to go after the back row, because the monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects anymore due to the Snow Devil resolving, so it's not doing much against the monsters, but it could still be going after the set card that has not been revealed yet.
Basti, what could this set card be?
That's a good question, really, at this point, because there is not that many cards left for Ben even that you would be running in this deck, because the deck is not running that many different trap cards, and for going first things that Ben is running, there is something like he's actually making the decision to run Shared Ride in his side deck, but at that point, I think we already have surpassed that moment, right? Because there was searching, and therefore I don't think that is going to be that set card. So honestly, looking at his list, all there's left is a bluff. Really.
Shared Ride is a card that has been less popular than the counterpart Mistaken Arrest. However, if you're playing Mistaken Arrest in Vanquish Soul, you might not be able to play yourself.
True. So there's also Vanquish Soul Continue, a card that has been included in some of the Vanquish Soul list, but it is not in the list of Ben, actually.
Basti, it has a question mark. You have to...
Okay, he did not continue but by putting that card into his deck. That's true. Oh, and Danilo. It is so nice to see, for me personally, that he has been mastering that Melis deck. He has been teaching other people how to play Melis perfectly. And that's still a certainly fine deck to play at the moment, and it would be a very, very valid choice to bring into this playoff. But still, even though he is so perfect with Melis, he has decided, no, I am going to go with something different, and that is Memento here. A deck that he also already brought to, for example, the French Open, where he collected a lot of points with it. So he definitely is no stranger to this deck at all either, and he's now bringing back Akihiron through its own effect. Akihiron will allow us to attack directly this turn.
Keep in mind, there's still a possibility for a Caesar Valius effect.
True, true, true.
That is still possible, and if you can't force out the Caesar Valius by destroying it with combined creation Tekutlika, then it is going to be really, really hard to out this card before, you know, it actually gets to destroy your combined creation Tekutlika. So there is still a chance for Ben, or maybe it even looks good for Ben right now. We can't really see the hands of both of these duelists. Haven't we used Anguish so far? Oh yeah, we milled Bone Party. Oh, someone wants to go for piercing damage.
No, we're adding back the Bone Party, first of all, through the effect of Akihiron there.
Oh, yes.
So we, first of all, want to use the on-field effect of it.
And it's a very unique way to play around draw, of course.
Yeah. It's great.
Because we are under draw right now.
Oh, true. I didn't even realize. Yes, I did not realize Drone Lockboard was even activated, but you are very right, Mike. It was dropped, and Danilo just finds a different way.
When was that dropped? I mean, probably after the first search, right? But
that would be a usual time to do it. Probably on the surge of the fusion monster, right?
I like to waited a little bit in order to have his own search and then activate draw.
That makes sense. I like to Perulia my opponents first and then draw.
That's a very good strategy.
Right?
Yeah, you're a master at that. You have been doing that against me countless times, I can confirm. But now Danilo, he knows he has to find a solution. He has to find a trick to play around that Caesar Valius. Otherwise, there's not going to be enough damage. And if the turn gets back to Ben, his setup is strong. That's what the Vanquish Soul deck wants. Vanquish Soul deck wants to do. It wants to save up resources so it can outgrind you. But now we go for the Bone Party.
I will be honest. Danilo right now didn't look like he had a plan. He was taking plenty of time to think, which is always like duelists like Danilo. They know their lines. If they have a clear plan to win the game, they're just going to play through it in no time. Especially something Maze would be interesting, considering that Drawn Lockbird was activated.
Yeah, because this is why how Memento plays. It doesn't have just a straight line. Just go with flow and and to deal with interruptions that your opponent might have.
The thing is, Danilo needs to take a look at the time, because yes, game one went through really fast, but Vanquish Soul is really not the deck that you want to be in time against, because they have their ways to just burn you on your first turn with Heavy Borger.
That is true. And I mean, a very funny way, actually, even on your own turn to protect your monsters from targeting is the Mementotlan Goblin. Sometimes you see that. That's a quick effect in the main phase on your turn, on your opponent's turn. The problem, though, with Caesar Valius being, it does not target. Therefore, it's not much of a protection against bad cards specifically. And I think Ben right now is massively profiting off of the fact that Caesar Valius is a quick effect whenever, right? Like, he can just wait for the battle phase whenever Danilo just tries to get there.
It looks so cool.
It is just chilling there at the very moment.
It's getting gloomy in here.
Ooh, maybe we go for... Oh, Celine. There we go.
Wonder what can happen now here.
Oh, I can see something very, very cool happening here. How
Okay.
about Underworld Goddess of the Closed World to get rid of the
Oh, wow.
Caesar Valius before it can use its effect? That looks like a Link 4 to me here from Danilo's side. Which one is it going to be? Oh, he's checking his extra deck. Did he maybe forget about a card? Oh, wait, no.
You can't do that anymore. You need 4+ monsters.
You saw the Goddess.
But I mean, now at
No,
this
it
point,
is
it's a little
Access
late.
Code Talker. But Access Code Talker can also not deal with the Caesar Valius because
Yeah,
we're all
so-
protected.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Danilo.
I think the Underworld Goddess could have done the trick. But then you have to link away your Creation King as well.
Yeah.
And that also does not give you enough damage. So very tough. What are
Oh,
we?
what was it? What
Solve
was
the
it the
mystery.
entire time? It was a bluff. I guess we drew the extravagance off of the heavy Borger, and then we may as well just set it as some kind of a scary card, but Danilo now made sure to just get rid of it instead. Bring back the...
You know what would be
combined
funny
creation now
if
too?
Ben doesn't have the correct attributes for Valius. And then just
That's actually a factor. He's scaring this effect the entire time, but maybe it just actually is not there.
Earth, Fire, and Dark. We have only seen Resin and Ash Blossom in his hand. Both have been used already, so not in the hand anymore. You need Earth, Fire, and Dark. We have the Holly Sue in there. I think we have seen a Dr. Madlove. And the Jiaolong is also on the field.
And to be honest, I think this is game actually.
If he does get into the battle phase and
Yeah.
there is no response from Ban, he can attack directly twice with those big 2 monsters, and that would indeed be the game. I think we're in the battle phase. There's no world. Okay, effect Caesar Valius to destroy the one scary monster with 5,000 attack points, so Ben is securing here that he will get another turn. And that is huge for him because we have talked about it so much. The follow-up from Memento, or from Vanquish Soul, is massive.
And sometimes, you know, you are ignoring the best effects of cards, like the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. You're like, wow, this destroys all monsters on the field. Yes, but it also protects yours for the rest of the turn. It doesn't say destroy all your opponent's monsters. It says destroy everything, but your Vanquish Soul monsters are protected. And that is so good. That stopped Danilo from winning this turn because it looked really, really good for them.
And this is why Danilo couldn't activate access code effect, banishing Celine to destroy Caesar in order to force its effect. And as we saw, Ben kept the effect of
and look at
Caesar
that.
and waited for the right moment.
That hand movement from Danilo there, yeah, I may as well pass. There's nothing left in the tank. Your turn, buddy. And Ben confidently nodding, drawing a card for his turn now again, back in the driver's seat.
Almost drew 2 there. Disaster avoided. But now starting your field versus only 1 interruption, basically. And I don't even know if there's anything in the graveyard for Danilo here. He couldn't summon back the Tekutlika as well. Starting with 2 monsters on the field and a full hand. I mean, he has just, as his last action, the last turn, basically revealed that his hand is full of engine.
And of course,
You
he
can
can
just
turn Raisin into Rock.
Yeah, you could just steal Access Code Talker as well.
That would be very funny for sure. I mean, then you still have to get Link monsters to the graveyard, but
He has
Rock of the
Rock, yeah.
Vanquisher.
yeah, there's at least one, that's true. And I mean, worst case, if you have to, you can just banish the Access Code Talker as well. Trades really well into everything too. And there is now, there is the second copy of Vanquish Soul Start. The first one was already destroyed earlier on, but now the second copy, maybe also coming to the surprise of Danilo here, but we go again.
So the second copy might also be to play around Ogre in the side
Yeah.
decks, since you want to grind, and if the Ogre your first field spell, you can also access the second one.
Yep, and you know, you can still use the end phase effect. Get
Always.
updated as well in the last round. It showed 0-0, but Danilo has, in fact, Paradise Smasher to... Whoa! No way.
Danilo, no.
No way, that is unplayable.
Oh my, I think Danilo has no cards to use there. He
That
sets
is-
one card and look at the face from him. That is not what he wanted to do. At least Ben had to waste that one Perulia. Still, I think Ben is happy with the outcome here. And he looks at just one sad card on Danilo's side.
It's a water monster, who cares, right? You can discard those don't help. Look at the smug on his face.
Oh, yes.
He is happy with... No, he's not happy with
Oh
what's going.
my, what is going on here? Back over to Danilo. And he found a play with the Tatsuru Chogo. Well, how is that even possible? Both of these decks built so extremely well, but still at the very moment where they need need to shine. None of them able to produce anything on the first turn.
So welcome to Time Wizard format.
Ben also needs to have something in his hand, right? If he can't play, and the hand of Danilo doesn't provide any extenders. Ash Blossom is being discarded. That's it for this turn. For now,
battle phase.
1,350 damage to your face of the monster that none of us casters have pronounced correctly so far.
It's a hard one, though, that's for sure.
It is a hard one.
Okay, first damage in this third game. Clock exactly on 10 minutes now, too. And turn back over to Ben. Does he find a play? He desperately needs one, because next turn, the Tatsu is ready to use its effect once more.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, Snow Devil on our very own turn now. Not very common to see that. Revealing Jiaolong.
And that is already good. You're revealing a card, so you can special summon Jiaolong. But you can also just special summon it with the effect of the Snow Devil. All right, now we kind of have to...
The only problem right now for both players is that since both of them bricked, the only logical assumption that you can make is that both have hand traps and defenses.
Oh, what are we revealing? We're revealing an Ash Blossom.
The thing is, if he had any other real card to play with, I think he would have special summoned that and not Jiaolong, because Jiaolong can special summon itself after being revealed.
Exactly. And the only thought that Danilo probably now has is if he's going to use a hand trap or another defense.
Wait, this is so funny. We're using the Jiaolong effect to change battle position here. We're only revealing a fire.
Oh, yes.
So he's not revealing two fire, he's just trying to change the battle position of Tatsumi Jogo. But still, Danilo decides, I don't want that to happen. We're negating it with the Forbidden Droplet.
And the Akihiron in Graveyard is actually crazy now.
True,
because that actually provides you some extra defense.
What an interesting game we immediately get here right at the start of this Friday, right at the start of this weekend.
I mean, usually those are the situations where Vanquish Soul really thrives, right? You get so much value out of your cards. What are we going to? Normal summon Ghost Ogre. What are we playing in the extra deck here? Stardust Dragon, perhaps?
I'm afraid that might not be the card we're going for, but instead it is the SP Little Knight. And that cannot even use its effect to banish, but it can attack over the Tatsudo. Oh, and there is a Magnamoot now as well. Desperately trying to get a light or dark monster into the graveyard, and we now have that.
Oh, he can go for Promethean Princess. Ash Blossom on the Magnamoot here. Okay, no Promethean Princess this turn. Also wouldn't make too much sense if I'm being honest, because we've also attempted to use the effect now.
Yeah, and there also is no Promethean Princess. Now Akihiron comes back in attack position. And I mean, that's big enough to not be run over by the SP Little Knight anymore. 1,700. And now, oh, what is this going to be? Is this maybe a second SP Little Knight? It is a second SP Little Knight from Ben. So we're banishing the Akihiron. Honestly, maybe Ben was happy about him summoning the Akihiron out there, because now Danilo once more really needs a good top deck. And is he going to get it? What a top deck that is!
In hand, though. We revealed the Ash Blossom in the last turn for Jiaolong. So this is a card that Ben is probably quite happy to see.
And Ben, no time wasted. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring has been a staple in so many decks, and it still is. Back over to Ben.
He is ahead in life points already. 1,600. No play found by Ben Kreuzkamp. Also, the SP Little Knight in the extra monster zone makes it kind of difficult to play.
Danilo, do we have something now? There's Downblade! There's no way! And Downblade big enough to attack over the Little Knight, and then we can play in main phase 2. But now Danilo needs to be quick, because he is behind in life points, and Ben is currently ahead with only 6 minutes remaining, and Danilo now going turbo mode. Anguish coming down.
Oh, now Danilo has to be really, really quick with this one. Ben is just nodding, knowing this is not looking good here. Twin Dragon is being fused from the hand.
Oh, we're going full speed now. Danilo on the Memento combo. And I remember Danilo, actually, I saw him practicing speed running the Memento combos. He was trying, how far can I get? 1.5 minutes full combo, no problem for me. Let's see whether he still has it that quickly.
Because we should not forget that time is on the round and we have 6 minutes left.
The big question now is, do you even need to go full combo here, or is a half field enough for you to win this game? Sending the Gatic here with Twin Dragon and another Tatsunoko Shiga. This just smells like a Paradise Smasher again.
we go.
Oh, we don't have Akihiron in the graveyard anymore, so this might be more difficult.
Yeah, I don't think we can go for that. But now Danilo, he's taking more time than I would have anticipated. He's really, really thinking this through. How many cards does Ben have left in hand? It's just like, it's 1 or 2, right? It looks like 1 at the moment. But we get the fusion going now as well. Danilo, what are we going for? That is a Ling too, so that might just be our very own copy of SP Little Knight now. The most played card in this first round, honestly. Ben played it twice, and now Danilo also with the SP Little Knight.
He's also playing a Gava Dragon in the extra deck.
He is.
Oh my, this is...
Just shuffle them back, go for the Fusion Monster, and just try to waste as little time as possible. Creation King sends another copy, sends a Fusion.
Imagine the pressure that Danilo now has on his shoulders.
Yeah. It's unimaginable.
But I think this is kind of a relief pressure, right? This is the good kind of pressure. If I do this correctly, I'm probably going to win the match.
But this is when you do most of the misplays. Yeah. When you know that you are winning and you feel the pressure of time.
But I mean, let's face it, what a crazy top deck that Darkblade was, right? Because a lot of other cards don't really play through the SP Little Knight, but the Darkblade just being big enough to attack over it and then combo in main phase 2, that was absolutely the best card he could have really drawn there.
Would you expect less from a World Championship playoffs?
Yes, of course. He wants to go to Worlds, so he has to get the best top decks in as well. Now adding back 2 spell cards. Is this maybe enough? Honestly, Danilo, this seems sufficient. Just maybe pass like this, really. Set the 2 cards and pass it over, really. Oh, no, okay.
I was going to say, maybe the combined creation would help as well. Keep the Anguish in the graveyard, of course, so you can add back Maze for an extra take in the next turn.
4 minutes left.
Good. 4 minutes is still, I think, good enough to pass here.
He seems so chill with it as well, right? Danilo, he doesn't even seem bothered by the clock. Now going into a quick shuffle, though, and Ben wastes no time either, draws for turn.
What card can you even find here on the side of Ben? Razan, would it do anything?
No! It is Danilo winning the first round. You see, he's locked in. He's nodding his head. He knows that is what he needed to get it going here. He wins round number 1. Only 1